Welcome back, everybody. Mike McConville one more time for String Tech Workstation, Stratford, Ontario, Canada. We have an early 60s Jazzmaster. So the truss rod's backed right off to zero, no string tension, and no relief. It's basically dead straight. And even with the string tension, very little relief. So I'm just finishing up the fret dress on this, just getting ready to buff it out. I've had a few people come into the shop with these Mastery bridges. Made in Minnesota. Absolutely beautiful ideas, especially for the Jazzmaster guitar. I mean, everybody knows Jazzmasters are at best a nightmare to set up. The original bridges have much to be desired. So these Mastery bridges, made in the US, much better choice. It also has a Mastery string tree. It's a simple design, beautifully executed. And on the other tech deck, we have an Epiphone triple pickup SG Custom. I'm doing these two guitars in tandem, so we're all set up, just getting ready for final buff. This Jazzmaster is another one of Jeff's guitars. I'm doing the two guitars in tandem. It just makes sense when they both need a similar job. And then we'll get on to the setup. We'll do that in tandem as well. Final buff, giddy up. All of these early rosewood fingerboard fenders had a very thin veneer. So on doing a refret, you have to be very careful that you don't actually cut into the maple. The other detail I wanted to point out is the maple surface has that curvature on it. You don't have enough depth in that fingerboard to correct. If you need to actually level things along the length of the string path, you can't take it out of the rosewood. It's got to be taken out of the crown of the fret. Just to give you an idea how little truss rod load I put on there. This is still loose. I wait for sort of point of contact, which is right there, and then I give it like a quarter of a turn at most. And let me explain the reason for that. So ultimately, with no string load, because as you saw, that truss rod, I did not put any load on it. Best case scenario is when you have no tension on the rod whatsoever, there should be a little bit of relief, but there's not. The neck is dead straight. So what we're doing here is relying on the string tension to pull the neck up into a very slight bow. So Jeff has very wisely chosen 11 to 49s for this guitar, just to give us that slight little bit of relief. There was no relief on this guitar at all, and it was essentially buzzing all over the neck. To be fair, there was a little bit of fret wear here, so that was part of the problem. But the biggest part of the problem was the fact that there was no relief. So let's tune this up to concert pitch with those 11 to 49 strings and take a real close look. And with that 11 to 49, we have just a whisper of relief. And on the treble side, same deal. But some relief is needed, and with the 11 to 49 strings at concert pitch, we got just enough to make that work. Okay, so we got this triple pickup Epiphone. You know, I've always looked at chords as being the litmus test for intonation across the entire span of the neck. So what I'll do a lot of the time is I'll loop or layer stuff. So I've got three things I've layered here. So the first thing I layered is this. And then I went down here and I did another series of harmonic mechanisms at the lower end. Basically what it is I'm orchestrating on the guitar. I'm using the entire length of the fingerboard. So there's actually 4 layers on this. It's all in E minor or G major, whatever spin you want to put on it. So here's all 4 pieces. Anyway, it gives you an idea. So just getting back to this one guitar without any loops or pre-recorded stuff. So here's all your garden variety chords, first position, G, D, A minor, E major. So if you play those basic triads across the neck, you've got D, and then G, and then A, anyway, so the idea behind the layering was to actually have different harmonic mechanisms on different strings at different points of the neck, all played together simultaneously so that you can hear that the guitar is regulated. Cheers.